Hey, one more World Entertainment. The End of Oak Street, the brand new movie produced by J.J. Abrams, starring Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, and of course, dinosaurs. Yes, this is in fact my second recording of this review because I was halfway through it yesterday and just as I was finishing I noticed the audio wasn't recording because the computer did an update, and every now and again when it does an update, for some reason it turns the audio off on OBS. Go figure. So this is the second time recording, which I'm kind of okay with because there was a couple of things I actually forgot about in the movie. This is of course a review for it. I'm going to do a non-spoiler and then I'll get into spoilers, but I'll give you fair warning when I'm getting into spoilers. Even though there's not, well, kind of a few things that there is really kind of to spoil. But either way, what is this movie? Well, to start with, you've seen the title of this video, and yes, it is basically trying to be Jurassic Park, but without the fun. And that's unfortunate. There's a good concept of a movie in here. It's just executed so piss poorly. It really is. And it does feel like, now I said this in my earlier review that didn't actually record the audio, and now I've noticed other people are saying it. It does feel like an extended episode of a TV show. Like, whether it's The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone or something, it really does feel like that. But what is the movie overall? Well, it's about this family, not this girl in the middle. Ewan McGregor, Anne Hathaway, and their two kids, the son and the daughter. And it's set in 1982, okay? I didn't know that until they gave the date, but there was a few things at the beginning that kind of went, wait a minute. And there's a light one night. That wasn't meant to rhyme, but it did. And something changed. And then there's a bigger light. And half of this town, I think it's 1.5 miles of this town, is transported 65 million years ago to the prehistoric times. And there's dinosaurs and chaos ensues. And the reason I say chaos ensues is because the story very much has this thing of, you can't go outside because there's dinosaurs everywhere and you'll be eaten immediately, until the script conveniently goes, now it's okay to go outside and there's no dinosaurs anywhere. The movie has a lot of issues. I'll put it right out now. The movie's shit. It's not terrible. So it's not one of these, it's shit, but it's completely unwatchable. It's just shit. But it's definitely not the worst you'll ever see. It definitely feels like, though, a streaming movie. And I don't know why they actually put it on the big screen. It has a reported budget of between $80 and $92 million, which is unusual to hear, like 92. Okay, that's weird. Will it make its money back? Probably. It's dinosaur. Depending on what word of mouth is. Now, it's PG-13, but there's no actual real violence. Well, like, only a handful of people get eaten, and you barely see it, and there's no blood whatsoever when people get eaten. At all. The only blood kind of comes from dinosaurs themselves, and it's barely noticeable. So it's kind of like, There is one thing in the movie that, if you're gonna bring kids to it, you should be aware, because the kids are gonna feel so uncomfortable, and so are you as a parent. Because the two big hairy dinosaurs, I'll go back to them. Where are they? These two. Okay, the dinosaurs in this movie are basically ninjas, because nobody can hear these things walk around or sneak up on you. Ones that are the size of a house, you can't hear sneak up on you. And when I say sneak, it's just strolling up to them normally. The loudest noise they hear in the movie, they're like, what the hell is that? And Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway tell the kids, get into the house and lock the doors and wait till we come back. And they go and, like, why would you approach the noise. But they do, and they turn a corner. And Dino A and Dino B over here are mounting a house humping. Yep. So, whichever one is the female, I'm assuming the one eating the ice cream, yes, it's eating ice cream, is mounting the house while Bucko Bill over here is humping the ever-loving bejesus out of it. And when I say they're humping like mating, they really focus on this thing like giving it a good old frosted, hoo-ah, get in there, sunshine. They like focus on that a lot. And they stick on this scene a lot. So Anne Hathaway kind of laughs and tells Ewan McGregor, like, hey, like, stand in front of it and I'll get a photo of you. And he's like, do you realise the type of danger we're in? She can't just get it. And they take a photo of him standing there like this with these two humping behind them on a house. And it still stays with that scene, even after they get the photo. And you see this thing vigorously humping the other one. So just keep in mind, if you're bringing your kids to see it, you're going to be uncomfortable for a while. Because, yeah, even watching a nature documentary when you see a couple of lines or something mating, you kind of go like, ooh, that's embarrassing. Be prepared. But that's basically all that's really kind of like the, like, ooh, that mightn't be great for kids. Because, as I said, the violence is like non-existent. How many people get eaten in this thing? There's the neighbor that you see in the trailer. Actually, I think you see the majority of the deaths in the trailer. When this image comes back around, we'll speak about it because, yeah, it's nothing to do with like dialogue or something. It's, well, actually, it does have something to do with a bit of dialogue, but it's the framing. Yeah, there's the neighbor you see getting eaten in the trailer, which is the person when they're telling, scream and get back into the house. Then there's the other neighbor. I think 2 more. So, like, next to nobody. And here's the thing as well. When this town, the opening of this movie, there's an image in here of the opening of the movie. And, like, the whole area is, like, just there, right there. Look at all the people. So this is like a street party type thing that's going on. And when they get transported back, there's no one. Where did all the people go? It's so bizarre. Like, nobody's coming out of any of these houses. You see the one neighbor that's up the road in the trailer, the neighbor that's right beside them who's an asshole to them, and the family across the road that leave. That's all you see. It's like, where the hell is everybody else? Like, you see a couple of dead bodies here and there, but other than that, it's like, okay. And the part that, one of the things they do and set up that's kind of confusing is, as I said, I didn't realize it was meant to be set in 1982. So it opens with that street party, and Anne Hathaway's character goes to a neighbor, an old woman. She's writing a book, and the neighbor has been reading the book, and she's given her information. And that framing that you saw a while ago that I said I want to speak about, they start doing that in this scene, and it's fucking horrible when they do it. Which is, her face, Anne Hathaway's face is on this side of the screen, blown up, while they're looking out the window at people outside and the kids playing and stuff. And then it flips to the other side, and it's from the old woman's side, but still that shot of out the window. And it's like, that's horrible framing. Why are you doing that? Ugh. But the old woman says, oh, by the way, I have something to show you. Check this out. And she brings her out the back, and there's like almost a coconut type of tree, but there's a weird plant thing on top of it. And they're like, what do you think that is? And they're like, I don't know. And they go and try and find out what it is, and they're told, like, well, Anne Hathaway is told, like, hey, it's from, like, about 2 million years ago and stuff like this. And so that's your indication that something is happening, is this flower. And then they eventually get transported, and as I said, chaos ensues. It's not really much. I can't really talk about anything really else. Well, there is actually the family. Um, Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor are fighting and basically on the brink of divorce. That she keeps telling him, like, look, we've tried, it's not working, blah, blah, blah. The kids have an idea that something's happening, and all the rest. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, by the way, as well. The reason I was kind of start going, like, hey, what time period is this set in? As in, finding out then later that it's the 1980s. Is when the old woman shows Anne Hathaway the flower. Anne Hathaway goes, can I take a picture of it? And she's like, yeah. And she pulled out this, like, old camera, like old ass camera, you know, that I can't even, why can't I remember what it's called when the thing already comes out. It has a specific name and I'm forgetting it. And I was looking at that going like, why the hell don't you just use your phone? What the hell? Why are you walking around with that type of camera? And then I was like, wait, what period is this? And then when the kids, like the son and his friends are walking around, they've all like little old school bikes and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, when is this set? Because the house she walks up to as well, that the old woman lives in, I was like, Jesus, that's a very 1960s looking house. But it turns out the movie's set in 1982, until they go back in time. And their dog is named Starbuck. So, obviously a Battlestar Galactica reference there. By the way, if anyone's wondering, because I'm sure you've all seen in the trailer, and gone like, oh God, don't tell me the dog is fine. The dog is barely in the movie. It's basically at the start and the end, but yeah. And half the chaos that happens to this family is because of this dog. But the dog is fine. So, there's nothing really else that I can say without going into spoilers. So, would I recommend the movie? I wouldn't recommend you go and pay money to see it. I'd just wait till it's on streaming because, like, the effects, they're horrible as well. They are not good. Especially when they do the kind of get to the edge of the town, and sometimes it's like the town seems to be at an angle, so parts of it seems to be raised above while other parts seem to be kind of down into water and stuff, but it's surrounded by prehistoric jungle and stuff, and that doesn't even look like volume. It looks like paintings. It's like, ooh, it's bad. So a lot of the effects are bad in this. So yeah, as I said, it's more like just an extended episode of the show. So, you know, if you want to see it. But I wouldn't really waste my money. I'd just wait till it's on streaming. I can't remember what studio actually released this. I think it was Warner Brothers. It's either Warner Brothers or Sony. I think it's one of them. Now, this framing. That's the framing I'm talking about. And they do this. This is the last time they do this. But the first time they do it, it's the exact same framing here with Anne Hathaway, but where the kid is and stuff, that's a window looking out. And then when they're in the house at this time, they start doing it again, but they do it with everyone. So it goes from her over to Ewan McGregor looking back at them. Then it goes to the son while he's looking at the dad. And it's horrible framing, and I don't know why they did it, but yeah. And this is the only moment in the movie where they try and possibly explain how they ended up there. And it's completely wrong, because they're talking about wormholes. Girl genius over here is the one. By the way, Ewan McGregor is an absolute moron in the movie. Like, he's useless. Anne Hathaway is the hero. The daughter over here is the genius. She can figure shit out. The son's just a clown, basically. He's just kind of like the one to be saved, and Ewan McGregor's just a moron. But yeah, it's not a good movie. It's pretty shit. And it's typical J.J. Abrams mystery box. So girl genius over there is saying like, oh, wormholes, I think we're going through a wormhole, maybe that's why, from solar flare and all this shit. And it's like, wormholes don't go back in time. They take you from one point in space to another quicker. That is what a wormhole is. It's not takes you from this point in space back in time. So the big question is, do we see how they end up in the past? Yes. Do they explain it? No. Do they know where it came from? No. Do they know how it happened? No. Did they know why it happened? No. So, it's just mystery box J.J. Abrams BS. But that's the non-spoiler. So I'll jump into spoilers. So you've been warned. We're going full spoilers now. So, they're back in the past. The neighbours get eaten. All that type of stuff. One other person who gets eaten, and it's the most retarded moment, is Ewan McGregor himself. Which was so obvious that it was going to happen. How and why does it happen? Well, the big weird dinosaur, the meat eater, is chasing them. That after sneaking up on them. You never hear the fucking stomping off any of the dinosaurs. And it chases the son and the daughter. And the son now, Anne Hathaway, this is another mistake they do where you try and distract the dinosaur, nothing distracts it until you do it again and then you can distract it. But Anne Hathaway shoots the thing, it doesn't affect it. The son, for some reason, decides to run into a garage. So now he's trapped in a garage and the big meat eater dino is trying to get in there, but there's a car in its way. There's a shot in here of the dino's head coming into the garage. Anne Hathaway shoots it in the leg, doesn't affect it, doesn't bother this thing. The son escapes through a window, runs off. The dino turns around to the son and the sister and is about to run after it again until Ewan McGregor, which is in the trailer, runs past it going, hey, hey, hey. And it decides, no, I'm not going to run after those two that are right in front of me. I'm going to go for him instead. Goes after him, where Anne Hathaway then shoots it again from halfway up the street. And now it decides to turn around and go after her. So it goes after her, traps her in a porch of a house. Ewan McGregor runs up. We have an image that should be coming up soon of this moment. Runs up. He's got a sledgehammer. But that's the thing. He's walking around the entire movie with either a sledgehammer or a baseball bat. Anne Hathaway is the one with the gun for the entire movie. He runs up and hits it in the leg. It turns around. It goes to chomp him. He hits it in the jaw with the lump hammer, which is tiny compared to the dinosaur, and knocks the fucker out. Does he run up and try and grab Anne Hathaway and go, come on, we can leave? No. He walks up from the outside of the porch, still in the garden, goes, oh, honey, you're safe. And as he's immediately there, the dinosaur stands up, grabs his leg, bites his leg, like slams him into the ground, bites his leg off. No blood whatsoever. She's going to run out and try and help, and right as she does, the dinosaur just goes, up! And just eats him right there in the garden. While she stands there, right in front of it, crying. And just slowly moves around it like that. Now, this thing, after killing him, should have just immediately looked up at the next meal and... No, this just sits there eating him while she just slowly walks past, crying. As the kids are standing in the middle of the street crying as well, watching their father be eaten by this thing. And they leave. By the way, they pick up another person, this other girl, who's the new girl on the street that the son fancies. But it turns out she's a lesbian, which is good news for the sister, because guess what? She's a lesbian too. What a coincidence. This dinosaur, by the way. And this is this whole scene. So he's chasing them, runs in, this dipshit runs into the garage. However, is Ewan McGregor dead? In fact, are all the people you've seen being eaten dead? Well, no. And here's the catch. You saw the image with these two standing in front of that light. These bubbles keep showing back up, which can take you... There's the moment. That's after he hits it in the leg. And it turns around and eats him. They jump back through. They find out it looks like these portals are opening. You can jump back through. So they do. Now, there's a lot of stuff I'm leaving out that happens around this moment, which is just... Okay, I'll say... They're on a roof about to jump through it, okay? And one of the big pterodactyl type things flies up and lands on the chimney right behind them. Number one, nobody heard this. There's the dino coming into the garage to try and get the son. Nobody heard this thing flying up and landing right behind them. What's worse about this moment is Anne Hathaway is looking in that direction and didn't notice this gigantic bird landing there. But the black girl jumps through straight away. The son goes to jump through. They keep waiting for it to appear and disappear and appear and disappear. I don't know why as soon as it appears he didn't just jump, but okay. But he eventually does, and right as he does, it vanishes. He hits a tree and falls to the ground off the roof of like a 4 fucking story building, and is fine. But the birdies fly down to try and eat him. And this is where the dog returns. The dog comes out and saves the kid from the big birdie. They get back up on the roof. There's a moment with these crocodiles that a librarian shoots and gets eaten. And they jump through. And here's the catch. They jump through. They fall into a woman's swimming pool. They're screaming at her, hey, what year is it? This is when you find out what year it is. And it's 1982. They realise that not just are they back in their own time, they're not even down in their own town. They're a good half a mile out of it. For some reason. They realise they're 20 minutes before the event that took them back in time. This moment. So Anne Hathaway comes up with an idea. She found someone. Turns out she found a lot of people in 20 minutes, but they're sitting there waiting. And sure enough, Ewan McGregor shows up. Because he's a pizza delivery man, so clearly she ordered a pizza to this area. Because she knew he would have been going home at this stage. And he arrives, he's like, what are you guys doing here? And they're all so happy. And then they see the town vanish again. A big bubble appears and vanishes. And there's a few things. The town doesn't just vanish and go into the Jurssaic period. Half of the Jurssaic period comes out into our world. They do explain what they did with that a little bit. They said some of the dinosaurs were captured, others were killed, blah blah blah. We then go 2 years later. That 20 minutes that they had when they arrived back, which the black girl runs off home, which meant there should... I'll get to it because it's one of those things when it comes to time travel that they fuck up all the time. They cause paradoxes. Anne Hathaway didn't just phone and order a pizza to make sure that Ewan McGregor's character would be the one to deliver it up into this area so he doesn't go home, and to make sure he's still alive. She phoned the old lady and told her to get out of the town. She phoned the asshole neighbour and told him to get out of the town. She phoned the librarian and her husband and told them to get out of town. And in 20 minutes, they managed to phone all those people. And those people managed to actually leave the town. Right. And here's the other problem. If they arrived back 20 minutes before the town was to vanish, well, that means that there's now 2 of them in the same location. So when the little black girl there runs home, number one, I doubt she ran home and left with the parents, but apparently she did. She would have ran into herself and her parents. Don't ask questions. But that's the movie. By the way, they paint him as the loser, but she's actually the bitch in the whole situation, because the book she's writing is actually pretty much about herself, and she wants to be a writer, and she wants to divorce Ewan McGregor and get away from the kids because she feels they're holding her back. Yeah. So that's the end of Oak Street. Again, I wouldn't really recommend it. Not in the cinema anyway. Let's just wait till it's on streaming. But if you've seen it, let me know what you think of it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's desperate to be Jurassic Park, but without the fun. They even rip off parts of Jurassic Park. Like, the first indication that things from the past are coming is one night there's a flashing light, the sun sees it, and the next day there's a big pile of dino shit in the neighbour's garden and he thinks they put it there. And when Ewan McGregor walks up to it, honest to God, I would have put money on it. I'd have lost, but I would have put money on it to say he was about to say that is one big pile of shit. It was that moment. And there's a few other Jurassic Park things they rip off. But yeah, if you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. I wouldn't really recommend going to see it Or just wait till it's on streaming. But yeah, so that's the end of Oak Street, and that's the end of the video. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and hit that hype button and all that good stuff, people. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.